Hello, parents. Thanks for joining us tonight. It is about 6:28, 6:29. We're going to wait a couple more minutes, and then we're going to get started once everybody's able to sign on and join. All right, parents, Coach Mason and I have 6:30, so we're going to go ahead and get started with this evening's webinar about our athletics for the boys, specifically for football. Later on this fall, we'll have another one for basketball. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, as things may change between now and when basketball season starts. My name is Travis Motom, the principal here at the junior high. Helping me put this presentation together were our assistant principals, Mr. Branch for 7th grade and Ms. Pennington for 8th grade. Along with our coordinators, Coach Esch on the girls' side and Coach Mason on the boys' side. Here at Liberty Hill, we're all about building champions. Our district motto is building champions in academics, character, and community, and athletics fits right into that, right? Athletics helps students not only be successful outside of the school walls, but also inside of the school building. Here at the junior high, we translate that to champions in learning equals champions in life. We want all of our student athletes to focus on being champions in learning, which will help them be champions later on in life. The background and why we're here today. We want to start off and talk a little bit about some of the differences that we're going to have this year with the COVID pandemic. We want students, staff, our visitors, our spectators, everyone to be safe. We want to be upfront and be clear with everybody from the beginning. Some of these things may not be preferred, but in order for us to have an athletic season, there's some things that we're going to have to do. I think the big thing that myself and Coach Ash and Coach Mason all want, along with all the coaches, is we want sports back. We want sports going. I see Coach Mason kind of nodding behind me as I'm talking. We all want that happening. And so we're going to have to do some things, and we want to make sure that we're clear on what we need from all of y'all in order to get started. We're going to talk about tickets to the games, this COVID screening at the games, attendance and cleaning, and then fan expectations. And then Coach Mason is going to share some specifics for football. Tickets to the game. This is going to be different than last year, so I want to take some time to make sure I explain this correctly. Each one of the athletes will be given 4 vouchers, okay, 4 vouchers. With those 4 vouchers, those will be used as the tickets to get into all of the games. You got to have a voucher to get into every game. On that voucher will be week 1, week 2, week 3, corresponding to the week of the season. You will show up at the game. You'll present that voucher. The person at the table letting people in will punch a hole into that voucher, and that voucher will be gone for that week. The next week, you'll show back up with the voucher again. They'll punch a hole in the hole for the next week. And that process is going to continue throughout the year. It's very important that the student athletes hang on to those vouchers. There are not replacements. We don't have extra ones to be handing out. We're doing the 4 vouchers so that way we can limit the attendance in the games in order to keep social distancing. If we hand out tons and tons of extra vouchers, well, then we're going to have lots and lots of people showing up, and then we're going to have too many people, we can't social distance and potentially not be able to have games. So we don't want that. Those 4 vouchers can be used with the athlete's family, however you need to use it. Mom, dad, brother, sister. Then maybe the next game, it's mom, dad, grandma, grandpa. As long as you have those 4 vouchers, you'll be able to get into the games. There are 2 exceptions on the boys' side with the vouchers. When you show up at all the games, everything is free, except for these 2 exceptions. The first one is any schools that are in Hutto ISD. Any schools that are in Hutto ISD, they are requiring you to buy a ticket to get into the game, and you can only purchase that ticket online before the game. If you show up to any huddle games with money in your hand and you try to buy a ticket at the game, there's not going to be anyone there and they're not going to let you in. So you're going to have to buy the ticket online before the game. Coach Mason will have the link about a week in advance. He'll send that out. You'll be able to buy the tickets online before you get to the game. When you show up at the game at Hutto, you're going to have to show them proof that you bought the ticket. So maybe you printed it out, or you can show it on your phone. And you're also going to have the voucher. So to get into the Hutto games, you got to buy the ticket online ahead of time, and you have to have the voucher. When you go to any Georgetown games, same process, except for they were only accepting cash at the gate. So when you go to a Georgetown game, you will show up with the exact cash, pay for the ticket, and then you'll have your voucher. And your ticket's going to be punched. Your voucher's going to be punched for the week of the game. It's very important that you show up only with exact cash. They're not going to have a change box. They're trying to limit the number of interactions that are happening between the people running the ticket booth and the spectators. So it's very important you show up with exact cash. If you are buying a ticket for an adult, $4, and a ticket for a student, $2 for a total of $6, and you bring a 10, they're not going to have $4 change to give you. That's going to be a donation to Georgetown ISD. It's very important that you check that ahead of time. So again, everywhere you go is going to be free, except for those two exceptions. Hutto schools, buy a ticket online in advance. Georgetown schools, buy a ticket with exact cash at the gate. All of the games, no matter whether you're here at Liberty Hill or you travel, will all require the voucher. I know that's a little bit different, and that might be a little bit confusing. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be happy to clarify that for y'all as we go through. COVID screening at the game. On the voucher, it will state that you have pre-screened yourself before coming to the game. We're counting on all of our spectators and our visitors to be responsible with this. If anyone shows up with COVID symptoms, they're going to be asked to leave. They're not going to be able to stay. And more importantly on that, you potentially are infecting multiple people at the game site. You infect multiple people at the game site, you potentially could shut down that team or both teams that were participating. You could potentially postpone the season. We might have to cancel the season, and none of us want that. We want you to be very diligent with screening. If you have any symptoms at all, please stay home so that way we don't have any contact tracing with anybody that is symptomatic. Attendance at the game. While you're at the game as a fan, a mask is required. At all sites that you visit, you do have to wear a mask. You do have to socially distance. Here at Liberty Hill, we're going to have certain bleachers marked off, or we're going to allow people to sit and other people not sit. I don't know what's going to happen to all the gyms and the bleachers that you go to, or the stadiums that you go to at other schools. So please just pay attention to and follow the directions that they give you, so that way we can all maintain our social distancing. We can follow those guidelines, and we can continue to have our season throughout the entire season. It doesn't have to be paused. As soon as the game is over, they're asking everyone to leave. So for example, if your child is on the B team and they play the first game, as soon as that game is over, asking everyone to leave the stadium so that way it can be cleared out, and then we will let the fans in for the A game. That's going to be happening at every site, whether it be Liberty Hill or any other site that you visit. So please help us with that. And, B team parents, if you would, please exit as soon as you can, so that way we can get 18 parents in. 18 parents, if you would, please wait patiently out in the parking lot, wait in your cars, so that way we don't have any congestion at the ticket lines as people are coming in. Cleaning after the game, there will be hand sanitizer available all throughout the stadium, throughout the gym. So plenty of hand sanitizer available. As far as football stadiums, there's not a scheduled cleaning that's happening between the two games, mainly because we're able to spread out quite a bit. And then also we are outdoors, which really limits any type of exposure. So no direct cleaning what's happening at the football stadiums as of now. Fan expectations while you're at the game. We're expecting all of our fans to follow all of our safety protocols. We want you to make sure that you're safe and everybody else there is safe, so please help us with that. Please follow any administrator directions, whether that's a Liberty Hill administrator or an administrator at another school. There's really no sense in getting into an argument or debate. No one wins from that. If they ask you not to sit somewhere, they ask you to put your mask on, the best thing you can do is sure, no problem. We want everyone to try to be as accommodating and make this work as much as we can, because we want our season to continue. If we have too many people not following directions and not following safety protocols, there is potential again for the season to be postponed, a team not be able to play, or the whole season might be canceled, and none of us want that. We all want our sports back. We want you to be a good example and a role model. We expect all of our athletes to exhibit those behaviors, and it really starts with our parents and our fans. So please follow those good role model behaviors. Don't engage with negative fans. There's really no winning in that. If you have another fan that's sitting next to you that's being very negative, talking negative, It's not your job to correct them. It's not your job to put them in their place. That's why we have administrators on duty. Feel free to let us know. We will handle that. We'll take care of that for you so that way you can focus on the game. We don't want you messing with that because, again, no one wins with that situation. And, of course, no one wins or no official gets better by people yelling at them. So I've never seen an official that is doing a very poor job and then fans start yelling at the official and then suddenly they magically get better. That doesn't work, right? So you're really wasting your energy yelling at fans. The best thing you can do is yell at and cheer on your athletes. That's what we want to happen. The best thing that we always try to tell our athletes is no matter what circumstances you're under, you can only control what you can control, right? And so help us parents by doing that. But we can't control what the officials do. What we can control is how our athletes play and how they behave, and we want you reinforcing that. I'm going to turn this next part over to Coach Mason, and he's going to talk specifically about some football requirements. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and check the link that was on the Google Classroom and also on our website if parents have submitted any questions. And when I come back, I'll be happy to answer those questions.
Good evening. We've enjoyed getting to know all the athletes over the last few weeks, and we just want to talk a little bit about how when your son is finished with their game, how we want to sign them out. Every home game, we do not have a sign-out sheet for the home games. All we have to do is we'll talk to the kids after the game, whether we win or lose, and then we will send them to you. You do not have to sign them out. We will not have a sign-out sheet for home games. For away games, we'll have a sign-out sheet where the parent or guardian must sign out their child before they leave any away games. If you are a parent and you're unable to pick up your child or take your child with you, we have two options. They can either ride the bus home with us, or if you want someone else to take your son home, we have a trip change form. And when we post a link to this video, I'll also post a link to that trip change form. You just fill that out. We only need the trip change form if you are not able to pick up your son from an away game. If you want someone else to take your son home, if it's anybody else, we have to have a signature with that, and we have to have the name of the person who's going to take your son home and sign them out. We also, please specify on the form who's signing out. Make sure that you're doing that. And once again, we will put those, I'll put the link to that on whenever we send the link out for the video.
Thank you, Coach Mason. We did have a couple of questions submitted that I wanted to go over. The first one that I'll go over is a parent was asking, how are we supposed to remember all this? It's a lot of information. Yes, it is a lot of information. So as soon as this presentation is over with, we're going to upload the video to YouTube, and then I have it prepared, ready to go. And we're going to send out the links for this video so you can rewatch it as many times as you want. We'll also have the link for the presentation, and then we'll also have the link for any questions and answers that were submitted so that way you can take some time to review all of that. And then both Coach Mason and Coach Ash will be posting this into their athletics Google Classroom, sending out notifications that remind, just to make sure we try to get this information to everybody as best we can. There were some questions that were submitted about how do we find out game times. Those are on our school calendar located on our website. We'll send the link for that along with in rank 1. And then I know the coaches share their schedules with the athletes as well. We had another question that was submitted about will there be a trainer on site? Yes, there will be a trainer on site at home games and away games. That is a requirement within our middle school, so that way a trainer of some type is always available. We appreciate everyone's time tonight. We hope this was short and to the point, but also got some good information across. We know things are going to be a little bit different this year, but the best thing is that we have our student athletes competing again. We have athletics going again. We have sports going again, which I think everybody's very excited about. I wanted to finish with this final quote. My staff can tell you I share this a lot with them. I tell people all the time, you can brighten the room when you walk out or brighten the room when you walk in. Which one do you want to be? And we want Liberty Hill to be brightening the room up when they walk in. We want Liberty Hill on the schedule, and other teams go, you know what? We're excited to compete against Liberty Hill because we know that they're going to bring great fans, they're going to bring great athletes, they're going to be good competitors, going to be good sportsmen, good sportswomen. So help us with that, right? We want to brighten the room every time we walk into anybody's gym, anybody's field, so that way we can continue to be the shining star of all the middle schools we compete against. Thank you again for everything that y'all have done, and I hope you found the information helpful. And please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to submit them to us. Thank you.